roughly how many victims suffer yearly from human trafficking?
But the standard figures are between roughly 14,000 and maybe 17,000, 18,000 victims of human trafficking in the United States.
Human trafficking is an issue that most people don't give much thought to. Alex is no different. But all that changes when she is assigned to make a short film on the subject.
Before being assigned the documentary, I really didn't know a whole lot. I guess I thought it was sex trading in Europe or something. Other than that, I really didn't know anything.
Professor Donna Sabella of Kutztown University is teaching a brand new class on human trafficking. The first time a class like this has been offered by the university.
The course was designed to take our students here who are in various professions where they're going to come across potentially victims of human trafficking and increase their awareness and help them to learn to ask the right questions and to know what to do if and when they come across someone. So it's looking at how service providers can be better informed. But we have business majors in there as well. I have students from criminal justice, I have students from nursing, psychology, social work, and to raise their awareness. Then they go back to where they're working or in their programs and share that information.
When I first found out I'd be making a project on human trafficking, I was excited because I didn't know anything about it, and it was different, not typical recycling, things like that. It's something that's not talked about, not heard of a lot, so I was excited.
According to the United States State Department, it is estimated that between 600,000 to 820,000 individuals annually are trafficked across international borders. 70% of these are women and 50% are minors. Over 80% of all are forced to work in the sex industry against their will. Sadly, human trafficking lacks awareness and continues to be attractive to criminals because of low startup costs and the rare prosecution of the criminals perpetrating these crimes. In fact, the lack of awareness is one of the main factors enabling the trafficking of individuals to continue, along with poverty, cultural factors, and weak enforcement. Human trafficking enslaves approximately 27 million people worldwide.
When a person is trafficked, again, it depends on what kind of slavery they're forced into. For girls or even men or children who are forced into prostitution, it can start off with a deception. A young girl is kind of, for lack of a better term, stalked by an older male, usually, and he kind of comes across, makes her believe that he's her boyfriend, and usually, down the road, it can turn into one day she just disappears.
There's different types of trafficking. Sex trafficking is the most common, where typically women are told, I have a job for you, they're living in poverty, there's no future, there's no jobs. They're told, come with me to wherever, we have a job maybe as a babysitter, or you can work in a restaurant. Switch and bait. When they get there, there's no job in the restaurant or babysitting. They're forced into brothels, they're forced into prostitution. So that's one level of trafficking. There's also other areas of trafficking where people are forced into labor, like in restaurants, in hotels, and the same thing sort of, and this is mostly men but women too, people are poor, they're destitute, they're told come work for us in the mine or in the factory, we'll take care of you. When they get there, they're really enslaved, they're not allowed to leave, they're threatened.
In terms of a person being forced into military slavery, they can be, violently taken from their homes, such as in Uganda, and I believe even in other African countries. So it can be a deception, or it can be just taken by force.
The criteria for trafficking, it's fraud, force, and coercion. So they've been deceived, that's the fraud part. Then they're forced to do whatever it is. They're threatened, they have family members threatened, they're actually beaten, they're starved. The force and the coercion go hand in hand. They're put to work right away.
Finding out what the victims suffer through, it makes me sad and angry. I think it's really unfair that people are forced to do that against their will, and definitely something has to be done about it.
Students at Lehigh Carbon Community College are working hard to create awareness by hosting fundraising events on campus. The students will donate the money they make to groups that support victims of human trafficking.
The fundraising events that my team and I are organizing, we are holding an open mic night this week, and the focus of the night will be spreading awareness and raising funds for the International Justice Mission, and just getting the word out about what human trafficking is and making people aware of it.
Start to spread ice cream sprinkles throughout your body. Follow me where I'm going.
Seeing the other group's dedication, I think it's amazing. I've never seen students so passionate about an assignment. You can tell with them that it definitely affects them, and they're definitely very concerned about the cause.
As Alex has learned from her experience making this documentary film, others are learning about the horrors of human trafficking also. In the United States, an annual report of persons trafficked has been released annually since 2000. Then Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice stated that human trafficking was considered akin to a family secret. It was known, but not discussed publicly. The U.S. has pushed on allies around the world to help raise awareness.
When someone's personhood is being taken away from them and they're forced to do something every day, all day, when they don't want to do it, it affects me, and I want to be able to help them. And I want to bring some justice.
It happens in our backyard, and I think anyone who has a sense of caring for the life and the well-being of another human being. And this is just simply not, you're forced to work 12-hour shifts. This is violence and torture, entrapment, starvation, abuse of the worst kind against another human being. And if we can't stand up for that, then what does that say about the rest of us?
Before we started making the documentary, I really didn't know anything about human trafficking, and my knowledge has definitely increased over the past few weeks. I think there's still a lot that I don't know and need to learn and would like to learn, because it's a very sad thing, and I would really love to help the people that need to be helped.